important to me.
Which by the way, leads to this story.
Yes, it does.
I would like to say one thing, though.
Yes.
There is a difference between religious bigotry and regular bigotry, because religious bigotry is 2 words.
Very good.
Ooh.
From bannies on mannies to shooting people in their fannies. Wow. 5 times I've said that word. As Oklahoma taught us a lesson when it comes to Smith & Wesson, on Tuesday, the governor, Mary Fallin, passed a new law, or Fallin, which not only allows citizens to openly carry or conceal firearms, but to do so without a license if they're on their own property. Says the pro-Glock gov of her Wild West love, quote, "The new law sends a strong message that Oklahoma values the rights of its citizens to defend themselves, their family, and their property." Know what else sends a strong message? You know, never hire a boxer to do your moving. They just don't have the logic and brain. Anna, you have guns. I'm talking about your arms. Yeah. What do you make of this? Good idea? You happy with it?
You know what I've learned through my Facebook page, not to mention anything about abortion, gun control, or gay marriage. Yeah. So I'm going to try to stay off of this one.
Then don't read my blog. That's pretty much all
you're not going to comment. You can make fun of Bill if you want.
You know what? He just smells so bad right now. I just
He'll be back.
Way too okay. Anthony, businesses are still allowed to ban firearms from their premises. How outrageous is that?
You know, our First Amendment right has to be adhered to. Right? I get them mixed up sometimes. Yeah, I kind of like this, although for myself, I'm more of a concealed carry guy. I think I think it's dangerous to have an open carry. In some environment, I think New York, it's very bad. You could just have some guy come up behind you and go, "Hey, I'll take this."
That's a good point.
Yeah, but somewhere like Oklahoma, I don't know, you just get a more open, kind of Wild West feel to the whole thing. I don't know. I like any step forward in Second Amendment rights, to tell you the truth. So
yeah,
I'm all for this.
Joe,
it's freedom. It's the idea of it's already been vetted that they're not having problems with their concealed weapons. Obviously, they had concealed weapons laws, and then they experiment with that, and they go, you know, we're not having problems. Let's do the open carry thing. Obviously, they'll if it leads to problems, roll it back.
Yeah.
But I think you have to err on the side of freedom.
Does, though. It never does. They always say, there's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be like the Wild West.
No.
And then nothing happens.
Exactly.
It's just
nothing happens. These people, the people with concealed weapons permits get training, and they're so paranoid of losing their concealed weapon permits that they don't do anything wrong. I have them in these states, all these 25 states that they say are easy to get, and I am paranoid that I would ever do anything wrong that would jeopardize my license. So I lock my gun away and I never go near it.
The hoops you have to jump through to get some of these permits, especially like a New York City permit.
Yeah, you would never
nearly impossible.
Yeah. Well, you can't carry a gun around here. I mean, unless you're
a controversial radio show host
with death threats.
Pew pew.
Yeah.
Bill, they also passed a law that if you enter their state, you will be shot on sight.
Wow.
You were even for that.
I don't know why. In hindsight, I should have read it all the way through. But I did read this, and I maintain Oklahoma does not go far enough. There are caveats in this law, and I normally don't know what caveat means. For example,
Russian food.
It's excellent. Yes. Although a lot of people that are for belugas are against it.
Beluga's a gun.
Yes. You can't have guns in a sporting arena. How are you supposed to celebrate a touchdown? You can't have guns in a liquor store. Not on my drunken watch. And also, finally, you can't. As far as I'm concerned, I think people's guns should be licensed to carry smaller, tinier guns.
Yes.
So those guns can protect themselves from bigger guns.
How are you supposed to rob a liquor store if you can't go in with a gun?
Thank you.
That's a good point. Here's the thing, though. It goes back to my simple logic, which I've used before many times, because I believe I'm a master of simple logic. If I was going to choose to rob a place, let's take Anthony Cumia and Bill Schultz.
Let's.
Yeah, let's. Anthony, no offense, Bill, far more wealthier than you are. You've been to his house. It's ridiculous. It's opulent. Your place, tiny apartment hovel, I would still rather rob his because you're going to kill me.
That is
so,
true.
So
Yes,
even though there's wealth in your place, I'm not going there. I'm going to steal from Bill.
Death resides at my house.
Here's a problem.
Go ahead.
No, let her go because she hasn't said
Go
anything.
for it.
Well, to extrapolate on that, it's a deterrent. it means Russian food. Come on. No, I mean it's a deterrent too for bigger crimes like campus shootings, and it could have changed Columbine.
yes.
It could have changed
They
Virginia
don't allow
Tech,
guns in
possibly.
the schools in these laws. These laws are so dumb.
Yeah, the gun-free.
You can't bring a gun to college.
There are certain states and cities that are allowing college students to carry guns. I don't know if that's going to help things in the future. I think the open carry law, though, in Oklahoma will. I can't see somebody walking up to someone that's open carrying a gun and robbing them and not going, let me go for the guy that doesn't have
Yeah,
one.
Exactly.
I'm gonna sneak up on and get that gun.
It's common sense.
Although there's a flaw in your theory. Yes, he is wealthy, but I am wealthy in communicable diseases. You still want to rob me? All I got to do is cough, sir. All I got to do is cough.
That's a good point. All right, from carrying a piece to keeping the peace. Should we use drones on our own? Well, they're not just for blowing up Al-Qaeda. Unmanned aircraft could be circling the skies above U.S. cities as a surveillance tool for law enforcement. On Monday, the Federal Aviation Administration, my favorite administration, said it's seeking to streamline the process for public agencies to safely fly unmanned aircraft systems in the nation's airspace. Police departments say drones are cheaper than helicopters and can provide invaluable assistance in dangerous situations, what they like to call the Travoltas. But the peeking in on citizens has raised serious privacy worries. Just last month, 2 congressmen wrote a joint letter to the FAA expressing concern that drones could violate the Fourth Amendment's ban on unreasonable searches, and others are speaking out on it as well. I told you. What did I say, Bill? First gay marriage. Now it's vacuums on cats.
No proof have you given me that I don't celebrate. This is a bold new world.
All right. Joe, lawyer that you are, we're going to be constantly monitored. Is this a reasonable concern?
I think it is. On the one hand, you could say, well, they're going to be able to really lower the crime rate with all the great things they're going to do. But the first time you see one of those little drones in your window looking at you, I don't know anyone that would tolerate that.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think, Anthony?
I think, first of all, when you see the drone, the first thing you'd go is, cool! That is so awesome! We already have helicopters, satellites, cameras everywhere looking at everything we do. Not to mention just everybody with their cell phones recording you and putting you on YouTube. I think, screw the drones. I think World Star Hip Hop's more of a threat. Yo, World Star Hip Hop, yeah, look at that. I think that's more of a threat than any drone at 30,000 feet.
I disagree. I can't do that impression, but they have exposed so many crimes, and they're doing it accidentally. They're celebrating certain crimes. Anyway,
if you got the camera and you're showing a crime, never do this. Yeah! Maybe keep it on the crime.
And are you worried about this?
I don't know. I mean, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you have to worry about, right? It's similar to law enforcement. Okay. For the sake of playing devil's advocate here, right? So you get pulled over for drunk driving, and they wanted to see what your BAC is.
If I do those quotes, will he let me off? Hey, this is just drunk driving.
Right.
If you're advocating the devil, you don't do this. All right, that is not very Beelzebub.
But is that really an unreasonable search and seizure for them to try to figure that out? Or similar to the government wanting your library records if you're not looking for anything?
Yeah, but there's a certain place where if I don't go out today, I get to wear, just sit around in my underwear all day, and that's my right as an American.
Well, you still can, and everybody gets to see it. Be proud of it.
Bill, let's play a game I like to call Let's Pretend Anyone Cares What You Think.
And now I'm not going to answer.
Are you going to protest? Is this a protest? Are you protesting a question?
I am protesting in silence. Oh, wait, America doesn't like that. I will say something. It doesn't matter. The cat's already been out of the bag a long time ago as far as surveillance is concerned. I used to be worried the government was watching everything I was doing. Then I realized they don't care, and they're watching other people. It doesn't matter anymore.
All right. Well, on that note, I had something else to say, but I'm going to save it for halftime. Coming Coming up, a story so mind-blowing that if it were a zebra, you'd say, check out that mind-blowing zebra. Then I'd punch you in the face. But first, what do women seen here really want in a man? A thick wallet, yells a really bitter guy.